It started with tapping, just a soft sound in the wall behind my bed. I noticed it the first week I moved in. A steady, rhythmic tap, like someone flicking a pencil against drywall. Not loud, not constant, just enough to break the silence late at night. I assumed it was plumbing or maybe something settling in the frame. It's an old building, built before the 70s, and things tend to shift. I tried to ignore it. I played soft music when falling asleep and pushed my bed a few inches away from the wall. That worked for a few days. Then, the tapping changed. It started coming in patterns. 3 short taps. Pause. Then 2 slow ones. Sometimes 4. Sometimes none at all for hours. Then suddenly, a fast burst of 5 or 6 in the early morning. Always between midnight and 4 a.m. Never during the day. Never while anyone else was around. I tried to catch it. Recorded audio while I slept. Placed my phone against the wall. But nothing ever showed up in the recordings. The moment I hit stop, the tapping would come back. Almost like it knew when I was listening. After 2 weeks, it stopped being just tapping. I began hearing movement, not in the room, inside the walls. Like shuffling, like fingers brushing against insulation. A slow dragging sound behind the plaster. Once it moved from one side of the room to the other, from the corner near the closet all the way to the spot behind my headboard. I didn't tell anyone. I wasn't ready to explain what I thought I heard. It was too subtle, too easy to blame on my imagination. But the feeling stayed. Every night, around the same time, I'd feel it. The air would change. Heavier. Still. Not cold exactly, but less alive. The sound of the outside world would fade. No passing cars. No humming fridge. Just the slow pressure of something behind the walls. Then came the voices. Not full sentences, not whispers, just syllables. A soft murmur with no source. I would lie in bed and hear it under the floor, rising through the space between studs. It sounded like wind at first, then like people talking far away, then like someone standing too close to the drywall, trying to form words that didn't quite reach my ear. I turned the lights on every night after that. I began sleeping with music again, louder this time. Headphones tucked deep in my ears. I moved the bed to the opposite wall, but the sound followed, always near, always behind. I didn't hear my name until the 3rd week. It was around 2:30 a.m. I had just woken up from a strange dream I couldn't remember. The room was quiet. I sat up, adjusted the blanket, and reached for my water bottle. That's when I heard it. From the wall, close, and low. My name, spoken slowly, like it was being formed by someone unfamiliar with the shape of the word. I froze. My ears rang in the silence after. Nothing followed. The next night, it happened again. Same time, same voice. A dry, slow version of my name from just behind the wall, like it was testing how to say it. It repeated once. Then, the wall creaked softly, and it went silent. I didn't sleep. The walls in the apartment are thin, but there's no unit on the other side of that wall. It faces an empty corridor, a gap between buildings that no one can walk through. I checked it during the day. There's no room, no pipes, no vents, just flat concrete. I started marking the time each night. The pattern was exact, always between 2:25 and 2:35. The voice came with the same rhythm. Never urgent, never angry, just steady. Practiced. It began adding more words. Not full ones, just broken pieces. Parts of things, maybe names, maybe questions. I couldn't tell, but I could feel the attention behind the sound, like it was aware of me. Not just calling out, but calling to me. I stopped using headphones. I wanted to hear it clearly. That's when the scratching started. Not fast or frantic. Just slow, thin scratches like fingernails, lightly running over wood, from the inside. always in the same corner of the room, beneath the paint. I placed my hand against the wall once while it was happening. It stopped. Then something tapped from the other side. 3 times. Short, precise, like a reply. I stopped trying to ignore it. The tapping, the voices, the pressure in the room at night. I had tried to pretend it was the building, the wiring, the age of the place. But now I knew better. I knew the wall was listening, and I knew it could speak. Each night, it came closer. The voice stopped trying to form sentences and started shaping sounds I could almost understand. It no longer echoed or faded. It was clearer. Like it was no longer far behind the wall, but right beneath the surface, just under the paint. And it was patient. It waited for me to respond, not with words, just with stillness, just with silence. The night I first tapped back, I didn't plan to. My hand moved without thinking. 2 quick knocks, then 1. I pulled it away the second it hit the surface. The regret was immediate. My chest felt cold. The air in the room thinned. Then came a response. 3 soft taps, evenly spaced, not loud, but full of intent. I sat on the floor for over an hour, listening, waiting. Nothing else happened that night, but the energy had shifted. The space inside the wall felt fuller. It was no longer empty. The next day, I noticed a change. A faint mark had appeared on the wall where I tapped. Not a scratch, not paint damage, a shape. Faint, a soft circle, no bigger than my hand, like something pressing outward. I ran my fingers across it. The wall felt warm. That night, I didn't sleep at all. The voice returned at 2:31. My name came first. Then a sound like my breathing. It matched it. Inhaled when I did, exhaled when I did. I stopped breathing for a moment. It stopped too. I whispered nothing. I didn't speak. I didn't touch the wall. Still, it replied. A slow scraping from one side of the room to the other, like something dragging itself just beneath the surface. I turned on every light, opened the windows, stood in the hallway. Still, I heard it. I left the apartment in the morning and walked the length of the building. I found the stretch of wall that matched my room. It faced an empty brick partition. No door, no access. A narrow void between buildings, sealed off from both sides. No one could be back there. No room existed there. But something was inside the wall. Over the next few nights, the scratches grew more frequent. They formed a rhythm, a pattern. They always followed my movements. If I crossed the room, it would shift with me. If I stood still, it would stop. Once I turned my back, it started again. I began writing down what I heard. Certain groupings repeated. The tapping had a structure, not just random sounds. Something like a code. Something built to be understood. On the 6th night, the wall moved. Just slightly. A pulse. The center of the faint circle flexed inward, then out. A single breath. The drywall cracked softly at the edges. Just hairline fractures. I saw them appear with my own eyes. Thin, white veins spreading like ice on a windshield. Then they stopped. I leaned closer. For the first time, I heard the voice clearly. It didn't speak a word. It laughed. A dry, brittle sound. Like something trying to remember how to sound human. Not joyful, not cruel, just imitation. Something copying what it had heard before. I stepped back. That was the first time I felt afraid in a way that stayed. The kind of fear that doesn't let you sleep, even when it's quiet again. The next morning, I found my name written on the bathroom mirror in condensation. No water had been running. The sink was dry. The window was shut. Just my name. 3 letters, clean and centered. That was the last day I left the apartment. I couldn't bring myself to leave after that. The wall doesn't stop anymore. There's a constant thrum now, like a heartbeat. At night, it changes rhythm. Sometimes slow, sometimes fast, sometimes matching my own. I tried recording again, but the file always deletes itself. My phone turns off when I hold it too close to the wall. I think it knows what I'm trying to do. I think it's learning faster than I expected. The circle is larger now. It pulses every night. The drywall beneath it feels thinner. I pressed my ear against it once, and what I heard wasn't words. It wasn't breathing. It was movement, like something shifting between layers of space. Something adjusting, preparing. Last night, I didn't hear my name. I heard a voice calling from the kitchen wall instead. The day after that, it came from the hallway. It's not staying in one place anymore. And tonight, the voice came from the floor beneath my bed. I'm not going to sleep. I don't think the wall wants to be a wall anymore, and I think it's almost ready.